I don't know how you guys test focus, but if it's not with a giant stuffed dog, I would guess you're doing it wrong. I've been saying for ages I was going to do a video about like anxiety in university. I'm on a swivel chair, so I am going to be moving a lot because that's just what I do. Yeah, I was saying I was going to do a video on like anxiety in uni for ages, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. I know it's like a few months, who am I kidding? It's almost an entire year late, but I'm finally here and I'm finally doing it. And I was trying to think of all these different ways to go about it, like do I compare semesters, do I do this, do I do that, and then I realised that was giving me more anxiety to try and plan it in that way, so I'm just going to do it as more of like a generalised things I do to manage that got me through university, or at least through the last year, which was a bit of like its own mess in its own regard. Also, I've stepped up my quality. I fixed my brightness. I didn't touch white balance. I probably should have touched white balance, but I fixed that, and I'm going to chuck background music in this. So we're moving up in the world. I also would have done videos sooner, but I've been dealing with pain and work stuff and just suffering, like not sleeping a lot. 2019 has not been kind to me in terms of my sleep schedule. But we're getting there. Also, I guess Happy New Year, because it's still going to be posted in January, so it's still appropriate to say Happy New Year. Bit of like, yeah, I've got the dog back. Bit of like backstory, I guess, into last year for university for me, because I can't remember if I touched on it in my other video, and there might be people who watch this who haven't seen that. So I have completed a Bachelor of Arts. It was a Bachelor of Arts for a pathway, so it wasn't just like, I don't know what I'm doing, guess I'll do a Bachelor of Arts. It was called like Bachelor of Arts, Pathway to Teaching, blah 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 blah. I finished that. I did an arts major in psychology, and I enjoyed the Bachelor. I had my moments where it was really stressful and I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I got through it and I completed the bachelor's degree, and I got accepted into a Master's of Teaching for birth to 12. I completed my first semester of that last year, and then in the first week, second day of semester 2, realised teaching isn't for me. I didn't want to go into teaching. I had a bit of like a moment near the end of my bachelor's where I kind of realised what I wanted to do was really help children in a different aspect as opposed to teaching, and that was in more of a psychological support work aspect. And originally I was like, I'll just go through my masters and I'll do that, and then I'll get a teaching qualification, and then I'll do school counselling, and I'll do this, and basically I was like, okay, so I'll be done by like 2023 and I'll have like 4 degrees or some crap like that. And then I was like, actually no. I'm not going to go through with the Masters of Teaching because there was a lot of dedication and a lot of time towards something I didn't want to pursue, and I just couldn't make that sort of commitment. So I changed degrees, which was a very stressful time for me, but I think the fact that it was so stressful makes how I dealt with everything that much more important, which is what I want to get into. So the most important thing I did was I had a planner. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I went to KKK and I got a brand new planner because my old one was a mess, and I was like, I want to get a new one, and instead of just buying a bunch of refills, I bought a new planner. So I bought some stationery stuff. But I have, yeah, as I was saying, I have a few planners. So I started out with this one, and then I bought this one, and then this one became a mess when I changed degrees, so I bought this one. So for this year I'm using this one with like daily stuff, and this one has everything because this one's a big boy and I can fit a lot on one page, and it feels like something's falling out of these, but it's not. I can fit a lot on one page in this one, and that comes in handy. It's also leather, so I'm not paranoid about taking it to university. So I definitely, that would be my #1 recommendation, is get a planner. This one's really great. As I said, like the pages are really big and it's got all the tabs, and this one I bought like different inserts to have like to-do sheets and stuff. Another thing, planner related, that isn't as important for like dealing with stuff, but it saves you having to write the same thing over and over again. Planner stickers. I got these ones from Studio Kylie on Etsy. I'll definitely link to her below. I absolutely adore her stuff. They're vinyl stickers, which I've learnt to love over just your standard type of stickers, because these ones, you can peel them off really easy and reuse them. I used these last year and I'm using them again this year. So that's how great they are. These ones are really great for uni because it gives you an outline of the semesters and what week it is, and if you're bothered you can put orientation and census and when the breaks are and everything like that. I don't really bother with the breaks because my uni breaks are still classed as weeks of the semester, so it'll be like week 8 is a week off, but we still call it week 8. It's not like, oh, you have a week off and then you go week 8, week 9. Like, so I don't really bother with those ones. So planner was a big help. I found that really great. I could write things down. Having the large pages meant that I could give myself lots of notes. And for me, putting a structure in was really important, especially when everything was messing around, like changing degrees, things were really stressful. Structure was important. Having everything that I needed in one little space that I could take with me was fantastic, because I never had to worry if I forgot something. Oh shit, what was it? Like, I can check this! Another thing as well, I bought a folder, like a ring binder folder, which, because I'm doing psychology, I've got like all diagnostic things in it, but I was able to put anything I got from uni into here, which meant that it was in one place. I prefer to have things printed as opposed to digitally, so being able to have like a place to put all physical copies of like diagnostic surveys and case studies, that really helped me. I found it a lot easier to cope with stuff when I was writing it down. Like if I had, for example, we did a case study on a guy called Mike, if I had thoughts about that, instead of trying to just remember them and then get stressed and forget them, I wrote them down on the paper. A lot of the writing in my notes is really like chicken scrolly. I don't think anyone other than me can understand them, and sometimes not even I can understand them, but you know, they're there, they exist, I at least wrote them. Another thing I found really helpful in regards to assignments and stuff, whoa, I'm really pale. Oh gosh. And another thing I found really helpful in regards to assignments was I am really bad with procrastinating. I will typically leave something to the last minute because I get overwhelmed and I'm like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. A way I found to get over that was by chunking it. Everyone's gonna be like, we've heard of this before, but no, chunking it really helped. So say I had a 2,000 word essay. I don't think I ever had a 2,000 word essay. Maybe I did, I can't remember. But say I had a 2,000 word essay, instead of being like, I'll do 1,000 words Tuesday and 1,000 words Wednesday and then it's due Friday, I would start slightly earlier and I'd be like, alright, so I'll do like 500 words this day and then 500 words the next day, and figure it out that way. So it was smaller bits that I would put myself to, which if I managed to achieve that and exceed that, which I think I did a couple times, it then gave me that sense of achievement, which made me feel better, and it didn't make me as stressed, because I'd given myself all this time and said like, oh, I've got to have 1.5k words done by like Wednesday, and then we'd get to Wednesday and I'd have almost the whole thing finished. So it was easier for me to get to that sense of relief and to be like, okay, that assignment's done. Another thing as well, which is really, really, really important, is not to be hard on yourself. You can't be hard on yourself when you're trying to do this type of stuff. It's a process and it's a learning curve, and I know I'm going to get into my first semester this year and I'm going to be just as hard on myself as I've always been. But say I set that 500 word task and I only get like 200 words done, and then my brain just goes instead of like harping over it again and again and again and again, what I try to do is I'll have a little reprieve and I'll like watch some YouTube or play IDS, or now that I've got my rats, like I'll give them a cuddle, something like that, make myself a coffee, sit back down and try to get to that 500 mark. If I still can't do it, I'll just adjust the rest of the days. So I'll be like, okay, I've got to get this many more words done the next day. Or starting earlier can also help in that regard, because then you've got a bit extra time, or allowing yourself a few days before the assignment's due. That also helps for proofreading, which I should do more often. I think I proofread it like twice and I go, yeah, that's good, because otherwise I overthink it. Yeah, that was really important. Is not to be as hard on yourself and to be flexible with your little goals that you set. Because yeah, you're gonna have, life happens and it sucks, and anyone who's close to me will know 2018 was awful near the end of it. It was not nice, and the fact that things like that can happen, like serious, like big things can happen, you need to accommodate for that. If you can't get something done because something major happens, you can't beat yourself up over it. You need to be like, okay, this thing happened, this is why I can't do X, Y, and Z. I need to accommodate. And that does wonders. Going from that, don't be afraid to ask for help. I know that if you're anxious, it's really hard to ask for help, but if your tutors are nice and they're approachable, or if you're watching this in your high school, like your teachers and things like that, and even like unit coordinators, if they're nice and they're approachable and they're calm and understanding, talk to them and ask for help. I asked for an extension on an assignment during my second semester because of things that were happening, and it was the best thing I could have done. Instead of trying to get something like 1,000 words done in one day because things were just so intense, I was given an extra week and it did wonders for me. It took such a weight off my back, and it can be hard, but if you can get an extension and you have like grounds for it, if you see like a psychologist, you might need to get like a letter from them or from your doctor. If it's anxiety related, if it's family related, like you might need to get whatever documents are required. Thankfully, I didn't need anything. They kind of just took me on my word and they were like, okay, that's fantastic. Like, fill out this form, put your reasoning, we'll process it. Done, sorted, here's your new due date. But if you need any forms, get them, because it does wonders to have like just a tiny extension, even if it's a couple of days. If your tutors and teachers and unit coordinators, etc., are nice and they're approachable, definitely do it. If you're a bit scared, still try and do it, but I can understand if you're scared. I've had tutors that I felt like I can't approach before and who have been quite abrupt with me, and it is hard to approach them, but you just have to kind of tread the waters and be a little careful. I'm gonna be, like, this whole video is just gonna be me holding this dog, which is fine. I'm okay with that. A big thing that I found to help for me more than anything, and I'm not scared to talk about it, so yay, erasing the stigma. I sought professional help to deal with things. It's been almost an entire year that I have been seeking professional help now, and around the middle of last year I started medication, and I understand that that is not for everyone. Medication is not the answer for everyone, but if you feel that things are at such a point that it is impacting your life still, even though you're getting help, like you can't do things, like I was really struggling to get through uni stuff, even though I was getting like professional help and I was doing all those things I just said, the planners, the chunking, the asking for help, etc., I still couldn't cope. And to me, medication definitely helped. It made a world of difference, and I still take it. I took it this morning. It's what I do, John. To me, it really helps. And as I said, I know it's not the answer for everyone, but if you feel that things are at such a point that you can't deal, definitely at least consider it, or inquire, or, you know, just think about it, because it did do a world of wonder for me. And I know that if I had had something like this to watch in the past, it would have made a world of difference for me to hear it coming from someone who can speak from their own experience. And that's kind of why I really wanted to do this video, because if there's anyone out there like me who is watching this, I hope that I can at least help you a teeny tiny bit, because that's what I want to do with my career and everything, and even with this like channel in general, is not only have my face out there, hi, here it is, I'm wearing my glasses, but still me. I I want to be able to help people, and that's really important to me, and I hope that I've done that for you guys today. So please like the video if you enjoyed it. I hope that you did. Or if you like the dog, like the video. And yeah, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you later.